give people an intro. So, hello everyone. I am Ashley Nyante. I hope you are all well. Welcome to another episode of the Visa Smart webinar series, right? Thank you for joining us on this journey to become financially smart, right? If it's your first time here, the Visa Smart series is a hub for your financial literacy information. Okay, on this platform, we host different speakers, okay, who share their knowledge on personal finance, right? This gives young people the opportunity to learn from experts to make informed and effective financial decisions, right? The Visa Smart series is also powered by Visa Sisu. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Visa Sisu because they are our sponsor for this meeting. And Visa Sisu is a digital savings platform that allows you to meet your personal saving goals, right? So visit their website at www.visosisu.com, right? The link will be in the chat section. Sign up, then down the shortcut *920*75# to start saving, right? So cheers to building a savings culture. Okay, so for more financial tips, follow us on social media at BizosMart. So follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Then again, the links will also be in the chat section. So today's theme, managing your finances as a young person. I'm quite excited because I've been faced with many situations where I'm like, hey, actually, we're going to be financially healthy this month, right? You're going to create some budgets and, follow it and all of that. And then at the end of the month, I'm like, where did all this money go to? I have zero idea, right? So I am really confused about what Mr. Sagoe has to tell me as a young person, And I would also be running a challenge at the end of the session, like last week, Pressure wanted got her airtime. So ensure you are attentive because I would ask a question and you need to be attentive to get that right. So welcome, Mr. Justice Sagoe. Welcome to the Business Small Webinar series, and I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you very much, Ashley, for having me on this big platform. It's a big platform, and I want to say a big thank you
for this
invitation. And I want to thank the leadership of your team for inviting me to share some few thoughts on personal financial planning for especially the youth, which I'm very passionate about. So thank you, Ashley, and I'm really happy for us to have a great session.
Thank you too. So, Mr. Sagoe, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? And I also want to know more about your personal financial journey. Like, how did you get interested in personal finance and wanting to manage your money and all of that? So, can you shed some light on who you are and what you do, and about your personal finance journey as well?
Okay, Ashley, thank you very much. So, about myself, you are taking me to school. I know growing up, we always have to write about myself. So what do I have to say about myself? So my name is Justice Sagoe, as Ashley has rightly mentioned. Please, I hope you can all hear me loud and clear.
Mr. Hi. Can you talk a bit louder? Okay. Can you talk a bit louder? Yeah.
Okay. Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. So my name is Justice Sagoe, as Ashley rightly mentioned. I am a young adult, very passionate about issues to do with the youth. I'm a youth myself, and currently I happen to be a financial consultant. I'm a youth coach, I'm a mentor, I'm a pastor, I'm a minister of the gospel as well. And I also work for a multinational business by name Letshego Holdings Limited. That's the Letshego Ghana Savings and Loans PLC, part of the Letshego Holdings Limited. And I also own some businesses as well. These are all startups as well, or emerging enterprises as well. I'm very passionate when it comes to financial planning. You should do it managing your finances well, because I believe strongly is the way to go, especially in the era of COVID, which I believe we are still learning the hard, tough lessons. COVID has come to show that there is the need for you to plan your finances. Otherwise, you'll be caught unawares, just as COVID came in unawares, and the entire globe, the entire globe has been caught up in a fix. So I'm very passionate about planning for the future regarding my finances. And also, I'm an economist as well, and I know that as I was taught in economics, resources are scarce, and money and finance is a resource. And there's always the need, because of scarcity, to manage my resources well, to be able to maximize its full potential. So actually, that is what I would say as introduction. It's key for us to manage our finances because they are scarce.
Great. The basis of economics. Good one there. So I want your thoughts on something though. Financial education is so important, right? I mean, being financially literate, especially in this modern world, is really key, right? To be able to survive. But it appears that even though it's so key and it's a life skill, right? It's something everybody, no matter what field you're in, has to learn and has to practice, right? Why has it been excluded from our educational system? Because since nursery up to level 200 of my entire life's education, I don't think I've ever been taught about investments or savings or how to create a budget or how to manage my money. Nothing. So why do you think this is the case over here? And I think it's a global issue as well. It's not just a Ghanaian thing or an African thing. It's across the world. It's not highlighted, even though it's a life skill. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, thank you very much, Ashley, once again. Ashley, I want to say that the discussion on financial literacy, I believe, as you said, it's a global discussion. It's a global concern. And as you said, it is a life changing skills, but it seems as if across the countries, we don't see it featuring in our school curriculum where it's examinable. But I would want to say that if I take Ghana, for instance, we've made strides when it comes to financial literacy education. I know that there is more room for improvement, which I want to say that, the only room that does not get full in this world is the room for improvement. But I want to say on record that Ghana, we've made certain strides, we've made certain attempts, and there has been that willingness to ensure that we bring some awareness of financial management to the populace or to the people of Ghana. And I want to say that in terms of the data that is available, shows that we've made some progress when it comes to financial literacy education in the country. For instance, a government somewhere in 2008 launched what we know to be as the National Literacy Week, which has been an annual program year on year. I know it was launched somewhere in 2008, and governments have come and they've sustained that particular program just to increase financial awareness and also to increase the knowledge or to grow the knowledge when it comes to financial management or personal financial management. And if you look at the data that is available, you could see that currently, we stand at 58% in terms of persons that have gained access to some form of financial services. It was 41% somewhere in 2010, according to data by the World Bank Consultative Group against the poor. And I want to say this because many a time we make statements as if nothing has been done in the era or in the space of educating people on financial management or personal finances. As I said, currently we stand at 58% as a country, and I know that there is a target by 2023 to get to 85% of the entire population being financially literate. And I believe that is something that is achievable. So there's a program which we call the National Financial Inclusion and Development Strategy by the government from 2018 to 2023, which we are hoping to move from 58% to 85%. But I'll agree with you that I think we've not made it a conscious effort to include all these life-changing skills as part of our educational curriculum, which is that one I agree with you. I'm looking forward for a day to come that we'll have it as part of the subjects that will be taught right from the early childhood development stage. From the preschool all the way to your university level. I believe that once we're able to have this as part of our curriculum from that childhood stage, we naturally will build this habit of taking our finances seriously. as we grow up. And as for the benefits of we taking our finance seriously, it's enormous. There is a correlation between the savings and investment and national growth and GDP. And what I don't want to bore you with those correlations and those kind of relationships. But the fact is that, and I mean, as you rightly mentioned, it's a global thing. I must tell you, even globally, if you rank the countries in terms of the financially literate countries, I mean, the highest is 71%. And those ones are for, so you see Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. Most of the Scandinavian countries are financially literate per the data, and even US, I believe that people think even US doesn't even come into the top 10 ranked financially literate countries or economies. I mean, US is ranked 14th. That's about 57% of their population is financially literate. So actually, I agree that there is more room for, we need to improve. I mean, I must say, we must really make the conscious effort to have it as part of our curriculum. And it should be examinable, not just part, but it should be, so people will take it seriously. And I believe once we do that, it trickles down. I mean, data shows that the school or schools or the school system are to be one of the major sources of financial literacy education. I mean, once we're able to get it right from that level, it trickles down. Because once the child gets knowledge about finances, knowledge about budgeting, about savings, about investment, they pass it on to their parents at home. They pass it on to their uncles, their guardians, their friends, and the ripple effect could be felt. So it's key that we need to look at it, I'm sure, going forward to have it as part of our educational curriculum.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sagoe. So what can we do as young people to bridge this gap? How can we become financially literate? What can we do personally? We can't depend on the states for everything. So this is our life, and it's something we have to do for ourselves. So what would you recommend that we do?
Good. So yes, now we've understood that there is a gap. We've understood that, yes, I mean, the figures are still low, even though it's not that very bad. And I said there's more room for improvement. And it means that as youngsters growing up, as young people growing up, we need to begin to take our destinies into our own hands. What am I saying? When it comes to personal financial planning, you don't have to look elsewhere. As the word suggests, it's a personal financial planning. And it means that we need to control. We need to control our financial future. That's the first and foremost thing that I believe that every youth listening to me on this call, every young person, you must take hold of your financial future. You must be able to control your financial future. And you can do that first and foremost by creating the right kind of mindset. I will always say that everything begins from the mind. Everything that you want to do, actually, everything you want to do begins from your mind. And as the good book says that, I mean, as a man thinketh, so is he. So we tend to believe that, I mean, anything that you want to do on this earth, if you want to have a better future, if you want to have a greater future in terms of your finances, in terms of your retirement, I mean, if you want to have a stress-free, I mean, life, a debt-free life, you must make that conscious effort in your mind that, look, I want to grow up. I want to be a young person that I'm going to take hold of my financial destiny. So first and foremost, it must begin from the mind. You must make that, you must have that kind of mindset. And that speaks to you making a determination in there, determination in your mind, and you making that decision that, look, I want to take this step. So first and foremost, to bridge that gap, you must make up your mind. That's very key. You must make up your mind. You must make that determination consciously. I mean, it should be intentional. There is nothing spiritual when it comes to you becoming financially wealthy, you becoming financially independent and financially aware. You must make that conscious effort. So after you making or having that kind of mindset and wiring your mind for that determination to be made, the second stage is for you to take steps to self-educate yourself. So as Ashley said, we can't rely on the government for everything. We also have a role to play. So after you making that determination, second thing is for you to self-educate. And now with the advent of internet and technology, look, there are a lot of information out there on personal financial planning, on savings, insurance, debt management, investment, risk diversification. Look, as there is, for me, I always say there is information overload on the internet. Instead of using the internet for other things that will not add value to ourselves, we must use our internet judiciously. We must use our resources into empowering ourselves as youngsters as we are growing up. So secondly, we must self-educate. It's very important. Self-education is very critical. You must take it seriously. We have ebooks as well available on the internet. If you cannot buy hard copy books, which maybe sometimes quite expensive, there are ebooks on the internet, which is sometimes some are even free. Have them, download them, read them, and after reading, you must put them into practice. That is one thing. So the third point, after you reading all these nice books on personal financial planning, nice books on financial literacy and education, it's not just enough for you to read them. You must not just be the readers, but you must be the doers of the things that you read. And that takes to the third stage, that you must practice what you read. And that is very key. And also, just to end so that I can take questions from Ashley, I want to say this, that embarking on this financial planning, embarking on financial education, literacy, and you putting them to practice, it's not an easy path to chart, let me say. Look, I believe that by the way we are wired naturally, we are more akin to expend or spend than to save or invest. Naturally, it's easier for you to expend, true of us.
That's true.
That is it. So it's very difficult for one to say I'm saving or investing into the future. We are always caught up in this immediate gratification and daily consumption. And I believe that's our nature. So you must go the extra mile to self-discipline yourself if you want to be successful in this financial planning discussion. So actually, let me leave you here. Let me take some questions as we go along. I can bring in more. But so let me say, so first and foremost, you must make that decision, that determination in your mind. You must be determined. You must make that decision that you want to really embark on this financial planning journey, or you want to get yourself financially empowered. After doing that, you must self-educate. That's self-educate. And after you do it, you must take action. You must put whatever you are reading to practice, and you must know that it's not an easy path to chart when it comes to embarking on financial planning or embarking on financial independence. Hello, Ashley. Ashley. Ashley, I'm not hearing you.
Mr. Sagoe, can
Yes, I think I can hear you now. Your internet is fluctuating. Ashley, can you hear me? Hello? Ashley, I can't hear you. Ashley, I can't hear you. I don't know whether it's from my end here. Can someone hear me, please?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir. We can hear you, sir.
So I'm sure it's from Ashley's end. Okay, that's fine. But I hope you are taking down some nuggets from the discussion. I want to have more questions when we get to the Q&A.
Yes, sir. We are taking notes, sir.
That's good, sir. I think Ashley's having connection challenges.
Sir, please, while we wait for Ashley, can I ask a question?
You can, Reynolds. You can, Reynolds. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Please, you were talking of self-discipline.
Yes.
Can you delve a bit deeper for us? Because it seems very difficult.
Okay. So it's good that we are making good use of the time. It's good, Reynolds, to manage the time. So as we wait for Ashley to come back, so self-discipline for me is the foundation for you becoming successful in everything that you do. It even goes beyond personal financial planning and what we are discussing. But in life, if you want to do well, you must learn how to control yourself, control your desires, control your emotions. Sometimes, when you have money, I don't know whether you've realized this, anytime that you have increased in money or you have some money, all of a sudden you see your lifestyle begin to change. All of a sudden, assuming maybe you are being paid 1,000, all of a sudden we are paid 5,000 or 2,000, 3,000. All of a sudden, you see your lifestyle begin to change, and you begin to have expenses that pops up from nowhere and comes to add up to your already existing expenditure. And if you don't control yourself, if you're not that type who is able to suppress your desires or suppress your wants, you'll get into what we call the Parkinson disease. So it's what we call the Parkinson law. What it states is that, I mean, your expenditure tend to increase when your salary also increases. So you always adjust your expenditure to your salary increase. It's a law that if you don't guard against, it will always hamper your financial planning efforts. So it's very important. Some people will say self-control, but I want to term it self-discipline in every aspect. So you know that you're not the type who is used to hanging out with friends. All of a sudden, you get some money and you just call your friends to hang out on a Friday at a pub. But naturally, you are not the type who is the outing type. Time you realize the money that you just got, just at one night, you could spend all the money on bottles and you come back home with nothing. That money could have been added up to your savings or investment in a bank or in a financial institution or anywhere. So self-discipline, for as I said, it even goes beyond what you're discussing. In life, if you want to be very successful, you must learn how to suppress and control your desires, your wants, your emotions. It will come up. I mean, for instance, you go to the mall, maybe you're going to have just a window shopping. You have some money on you. You see something. You've not budgeted for that particular thing that you have in there. The time you realize you are just purchasing that thing out of impulse purchase. I mean, you lack self-discipline because in your budget, you had no intent to go and purchase anything from the mall. You just went to the mall just to observe, have window shopping. But you went there and something caught your attention and you've not budgeted for that thing and you're just going there to purchase. You've not been self-disciplined yourself because once you have the budget, you must be straight to the budget. Adherence to the budget is very critical. So Reynolds, basically that's what self-discipline does. Ability to suppress your desires, your wants, your emotions to ensure that, I mean, you see, it's self-discipline because it's you. It's dependent on you to control those desires when they come through. And it's very critical that you must take note of some of these temptations that pop up, especially when you receive monies. So let's be wary of the Parkinson law. It's very important. I don't know whether you have that experience, Reynolds, where your salary increases and all of a sudden, or you have some money, all of a sudden you see expenses coming up in your head. I want to buy this, I want to get this, I want to travel, I want to do that. Oh, you are back.
I'm back.
Oh, I was chatting, Reynolds. Sorry about that.
No problem. The way I'm saying is that absolutely right. Like, I mean, if you have this amount here, you've already made plans on how you want to spend this amount. But suddenly you have like extra money, and then you know what, I can get this other thing. Oh, hey, I can also buy this thing. Oh, hey, I can get this other thing at this place. But you really don't have to do these things. And just cause you now have, should I say, more money, these other expenses have come up from nowhere. So it's interesting.
Oh. Okay, so actually, thanks for adding to the submission as well. So we can proceed with our interview.
Okay, sure.
But Reynolds, I hope you are fine.
It's Harrison.
Hello?
Yeah, this is Harrison. I'm fine, sir. Thank you.
Harrison, I'm fine. Okay, that's fine. Sorry. Harrison, okay. Okay.
All right, great. We were talking about self-education, and I'm asking if there are any books you would recommend to kickstart your personal finance journey.
Okay, so I mean, as for the books on financial planning, books on financial literacy, they are enormous. I mean, we have a lot of books written by local and international personalities. I think in Ghana, I'll just recommend some few ones, but you can go on the net and read the others that have international appeal or that are written by international authors. But for instance, there's one man by name Mr. Paul Kofi Mante. Mr. Paul Kofi Mante. I don't know whether you've heard of him. Mr. Paul Kofi Mante. So Mante is Kofi Mante, yes. He's the MD. He's the MD for EcoBank Development Corporation. He's the investment wing of EcoBank Ghana Limited, and he's the MD. I mean, this man is an authority when it comes to financial planning, financial management, and he's written some good books. And I'll be happy. I mean, if you are able to show interest, I can link him up and you can get some of his books for your members to purchase it. I mean, he's a gem. He's a gem when it comes to financial planning. I want to believe that you've also heard of Reverend Albert Okran and Madam Comfort Okran. And what I've heard of Reverend, we also have some good books when it comes to financial planning and financial literacy and so forth. I mean, we also have someone like Mr. Emmanuel Day-to-me. Emmanuel Day-to-me has written good books for the youth.
Emmanuel
Day-to-me. And there are a host of others. And for me, I mean, crossing beyond the shores of Ghana, I mean, any article or books written by Warren Buffett, for instance. Warren Buffett is one of the investment gurus or moguls. Anytime you talk about investment on this earth, you always mention Warren Buffett. So also get Warren Buffett articles or books to read, and you will be impacted heavily. I mean, people like Robin Sharma. Robin Sharma also has some good books that you can read to empower yourselves. And we have Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy is another great author, written a number of books on self-discipline. For instance, I mentioned self-discipline. I mean, he has books on that as well for you to read to help you. So actually, as for the books, there are books available on the internet, and with access to data, you are good to go to self-educate yourself. And once you make that conscious about to do that, I believe you acquire knowledge. And for me, that is very critical. And the Bible says that the lack of knowledge, my people perish. So if you don't want to perish in this financial space, you must be empowered. You must get the necessary or the requisite knowledge.
Thank you. Now I want to go to some practical things that we can take away from this session. So what are the top 5 strategies you recommend to a young person, right, in order to improve their money management skills?
Okay. So first and foremost, I want the youth listening to me on this call to take notes that there's nothing like little money. There is nothing, and they must be mindful of the little monies that they discard. There is this saying, or there's this proverb which I learned as I was growing up, and it goes like this: penny wise, pound foolish. Penny wise, pound foolish. I mean, you're all familiar with this proverb. Right from business school, we got to know this proverb, and it has stuck with me. What I want all persons listening to me on this call is the fact that never despise little beginnings. Never despise little beginnings. And I believe that Beso Susun has come at a time like this, where I believe they will take on the 50 pesos, the 1 CDs, the 2 CDs, the 3 CDs. At the end of the day, you come home, you have some coins on you, you have some money on you. In your mind, you feel these are small money, these are little money, so you could discard, sometimes even throw it away. But what you don't realize is that little drops of water makes a mighty ocean. So please never despise these little monies that come into your hands. I mean, put them into Bezo Susun, open the account, save with Bezo Susun. And as you are doing that, you will never realize how much wealth you are accumulating over the period. Imagine that you're able to put the small little monies aside. By the end of the year, imagine how much you are able to accumulate by 1 year. And I believe that Bezo Susun will give you some interest. I believe your monies don't lie there idle. It earns some interest at the end of the period. So there's some value that you add to your monies that you are putting into these Susun that you make. So that's first thing. Never despise little beginnings. And please, the penny wise pound foolish proverb must stuck with you as a youngster. So that's the first. And for me, if assuming you don't have a big Bezo Susun, you can even have for yourself a Susun box. susu box under lock and key. If you like, keep the key with somebody that you can trust. And have a susu box right inside your bedroom. You come home, and whatever money that you have as excesses, just drop it in that susu box. And at the end of the year, go for the key, open it up, and you see the money that you have accumulated over the period. What it does, that the only difference is that in your susu box, it's quite risky, because if, assuming you are attacked by thieves or armed robbers, they would do away with your savings. Or also, you don't also get interest, because as it's in your room, it doesn't earn any interest. But that's just the starting point anyway. So let not despise the small beginnings. And the other practical thing I want to put to bear is the fact that, please, you must know where your money goes. You must know you must track where every penny goes. And what do I mean by that? As a youngster, by end of the month, you must have a budget. You must have a budget. Look, what you must do is that never expend without writing it down. Never receive income without writing it down. See, sometimes we want to think that, oh, we can remember everything. But look, our minds are wired that a lot of things are going on in our minds at the same time. And we are human beings, we can easily forget. So please, know where your money goes. It means that you must document every expense that you do, every income that comes, so that at the end of the period, you can always do an audit to find out that am I expending wisely? Am I spending wisely? So please, let's have a budget. And you can have a notepad with you at home. You can also do it on your phone. Those who have good phones you can use your notepad. Even there are apps that you can have budgets that you can also use to track your. And it's very important. Please, if you want to be very successful, as someone want to have a meaningful financial journey, you must learn how to budget or write down or know where your money goes. And I also want to say that, please, always try and expend less than what you earn. Please try and expend more less than what you earn. Please, anytime that you are expending more than what you are earning, then that's where you run into debt. And you have to chase people up for monies to top up for you to keep living. So please try as much as possible to live within your means. It's very important. Please, this life is not a race. Don't compete with anybody. Please don't compete with anybody. I believe that you have your destiny to live. I believe that you have your goals that you want to achieve financially, and just follow those goals. Try as much as possible to ensure that you are not following blindly what others are doing. Live in accordance with your income that you receive. Also, I want to mention that as a youngster, as you are growing up, practically, you must be able to divide your income when you receive them. And there's a rule, which I believe some of you are aware of this rule. We call the 50-30-20 rule, the 50-30-20 rule. This rule was made popular by one US senator, very popular Senator Elizabeth Warren. And she really is the proponent of this whole 50-30-20 rule. What Senator Elizabeth was saying is that when you receive your income, any money that you receive, immediately, if you are a believer like myself, if you go to church, you believe in tithing, first and foremost, just take your tithe off straight away. The 10% must be off from that money. That goes to God by our belief. If you don't believe in tithing, that is fine. But if you believe in tithing, before you apply the 50-30-20 rule, you must do that by netting off your tithe. Then after that, the remaining income, you divide them into 50-30-20%. 50% goes into what we call the needs, the things that you need, the things that are very important to you, the things that you need to make life comfortable. So those are your needs, those that are very essential to you. Then 30% will go into wants. I believe sometimes, as they say, all work and no play, make Jack and Dog boy. So many of the people think as if we preach on financial planning, we are frugal. We don't have a life to live. We are some way. But that's not the case, because within that rule, there's 30% for you to still want to spend on your wants. Then the 20%, that is where the icing on the cake is. That goes into your savings or investment account. That's very important. So 20% for that one it's a sure banker. You must ensure that 20% of whatever you have after netting off your tithe must go into savings and investment. 30% into wants, 50% into your needs. And if you want to save more, you can control more of your wants. Once you want to control more of your wants, you can have more or save money to add up to your savings, and you'll be building up wealth over a period of time. So I think, I don't know whether I have 5 already. Do I have 5 already?
Talking about you've spoken about saving and how no amount is small enough to start saving, right? Penny wise and pound foolish. You've spoken about having a budget and tracking your expenses. You've spoken about living within your means, right? So yeah, so I think you are left with one more point.
Okay. And then one more point I want to mention, which many a time we take it for granted, is about your health. About your health. And I always will say that your health is your wealth. Your health is your wealth. Why do I say this? You see, it's good for us to have all these plans. It's good for us to save all this money and invest all this money. But if you're not taking good care of your bodies, if you're not health conscious, this is what's going to happen. Another day, you save so much, you invest so much, you get sick. Once you get sick, the money that you've saved or invested, you must disinvest them or save them to cater for yourself so that you can be alive. But if you take your health seriously, if you are conscious of your health, where you exercise frequently, I mean, you are taking, well, for me, it's very critical. Look, there are people who have money. I mean, people who have come into wealth, but they are battling with one disease or the other. And they must expend all their life savings and investments on curing themselves at hospitals, traveling in and out, and so forth. So your health is very important when it comes to the discussion around financial planning and financial money, because if you are not healthy, one, you can't work to generate income to save. That's one point. So if you're the type that gets sick frequently, obviously you can't go out there and work. And you can only have income or money when you go out there and work. Here, I mean legitimate work, not you do internet fraud and get into all kind of funny activities. So it's key that we take very good care of our health. It's very key. I mean, your early morning 20-30 minute exercise, walking down the street, doing some jogging, some press ups. I mean, attending to medical checkups more frequently, ensuring that you are okay. Because if you're not careful, if you don't check your health now, you grow up and every money that you have saved, you use to cater for yourself at the hospital and pay for hospital bills. And you know that naturally, as we age, as we grow, we tend to expend more on our health. So please, as youngsters, we have fresh blood in us, very exuberant. Let's ensure that we are eating well. It's very important. We are eating well. We are sleeping well. I mean, we are taking in the right kind of meals, balanced diet, here and exercising, frequent medical checkups, so that we'll be healthy to enjoy our wealth. Ashley.
Okay, thank you for that. It's almost time, so it's even past time, so let's try and wrap it up a bit. I'm going to cut it short, right? So you've spoken about building certain character traits such as determination, such as self-discipline, in order to have a healthy financial life, right? So would you say financial education and character traits, which one is more important for building financial success or for being financially successful? If I know that this is how I can invest in, I know how to trade stocks, so I know how to, go about this investment package, right? That versus I'm self-disciplined enough to actually take on this topic of investment. Which one do you think is more important, or you would say that they are equally important and they go hand in hand, whichever one you think? I would like to know.
Okay, so actually, I mean, when it comes to financial planning, with all the principles I've mentioned, it boils down to you having that character traits. So yes, you can't achieve financial education. You can't really empower yourself financially when you don't exhibit these character traits, which I've mentioned. So we've mentioned discipline is a character trait. We've mentioned, so we must also be consistent when it comes to saving and investment and financial planning. We must be persistent. I mean, devoid of the difficulties and the challenge. You must still have that willingness to still save. So you cannot divulge your character traits from financial literacy or you embarking on financial planning. So as I said, all the things that I've mentioned, all the points I've mentioned, boils down to you building a habit over the period, building a trait over the period. So it goes hand in hand. As I said, it goes hand in hand. So I mean, if you want to be financially literate, you must be determined. Determination is a character trait anyway. You must have that desire. You must have that willingness. You must have that self-discipline, self-control, and what have you. So your personal character traits is very important. It fits into your financial literacy goals or financial management or financial plan or what have you. So you need that character to say that, look, I want to embark on this journey. And these traits I've mentioned are something that you must apply them as far as financial education and literacy is concerned.
Thank you very much. Spoken a lot, and I'm going to talk about the key things you've said when I'm summarizing the whole thing. So we have come to the end of our session. Thank you so much, Mr. Sagoe. I'm going to run